esportsbets.com, the service where gamers will bet real money on virtual events. Only here, the best odds and widest coverage of games from Dota 2 to Hearthstone. We have over 200,000 users registered. Join us. Prove that you are the best versed in esports. Who will get the first blood? Who will take the first Roshan? Who will win the knife round? Participate in the race of predictors and earn real money. The more bids, the more bonuses. Reward for your first deposit up to $600. esportsbets.com. Foresight, passion, and calculation.
Hey guys, welcome back to Starladder. This is our final day. We have 4 teams left. Right now it's going to be a best of 3 in between Cloud9 and Alliance. Loser will go home. 4th place winner will proceed to face off versus EG. So, draft is underway. I'm joined by Cinderin for this lovely cast.
And Shiva will be our cameraman, I believe. She's hiding right now, but yeah, she'll come on once we switch to the game, which hopefully we do now because, like Ben just pointed out, we're almost not halfway through the draft, maybe a third.
So
give draft.
Going into the game.
There we go. Excellent.
First, introducing the lineups: Alliance, Aki, Admiral Bulldog, Loda, Misery, and 8-Mother instead of Chessie. On the other side, Cloud9 will be Dire this game, Eternal Envy, Pylidai, Aoi 2000, Fata, and Mag.
It's interesting that Cloud9 got to get a profile picture of Mag, but Alliance didn't get one of 8-Mother. Cat bias. Oh, maybe they just, I don't know. Maybe they forgot I didn't have a picture for him. But anyway, we're into the draft. Finally, and Alliance did have the overall 2nd pick, I believe. The overall 1st pick was with Cloud9, who started out by banning Slark and the Bat Rider, which Bulldog was very successful with yesterday. And Alliance are banning out the Visage, targeted ban at Cloud9, as well as the Brew. So Skyroth gets through, it's the 1st pick for C9. Witch Doctor Viper, very unusual 2nd phase, if you will, or 1st phase, 2nd pick from Alliance, and then a Centaur for Cloud9. What do you think about that Witch Doctor Viper opening?
Witch Doctor Viper has a lot of sustain, so they may be going for an unusual, like, 5-man early tower with a mech on Viper. It was pretty popular a few weeks ago, but not so much this tournament at all. A lot of the Vipers have just pretty much skipped mech altogether and have a much later focus into the game.
And Centaur already kind of against that kind of sustain. If the fight extends, you either want to avoid the fight extending against that kind of lineup, so you just burst them down, which is what Centaur and Skyroth are really good at, or you want to be able to, if you see the fight is developing in an unfavorable way, you can just Stampede out. It's a great counter pick to Viper. It's pretty good against Witch Doctor too, because you can Stampede to spread out people so the cast doesn't keep bouncing, and just in general, a solid pick for Cloud9, and also maybe the best hero for Mag. I think they're picking it just to secure that for him because he's been playing very well on it in this tournament.
Wisp has been completely ignored by both teams. I think Cloud9 are much more likely to pick it up than Alliance. Alliance may be aiming for like a Treant Protector as their 2nd pick, 2nd support rather.
Or yeah, Treant is a pretty good choice. He's good against Centaur, decent against Skyroth. At least in the laning stage, he's really good against Skyroth. But in the mid game, of course, Mystic Flare can destroy that living armor pretty much instantly.
Overgrowth is really good versus Stampede, though.
Stampede. That's a good point. Could definitely be used. I don't know if Alliance will pick their 2nd support yet, though. I think they might want to get their off laner for Bulldog, or well, we don't know if he's off lane still. He could be mid. But I don't want to count them out on the IO. I still think IO and Witch Doctor is a decent combination as far as supports go. IO has a little bit of a weakness very early on in terms of dealing damage and just harassing in the lane, but Witch Doctor's really good at that. And Alliance might just run dual lanes like they did yesterday, where they put something like an IO Gyrocopter off lane or something like that, but still kind of risky against a Skyroth to run dual lanes, I feel.
PA ban's a little interesting. We haven't really seen Cloud9 go for a PA pick. I don't think we've seen one at all this tournament, but pretty good for Cloud9's current shift in play style. Nice burst, some pure damage versus Viper. Pretty decent. Good Wisp partner as well.
It might be that Alliance are just planning on getting something that PA would be good against. So trying to prevent Cloud9 from getting extreme single target. They already have quite a bit with Skyroth and Centaur, but
do you think this is a support Mirana or Loda Mirana?
I have no idea. And that's the good part for Alliance here, is that they're not really showing their hand to Cloud9 with this Mirana pick. Knowing Misery, he really likes playing mobile, and roaming around early, finding ganks, setting up on the lanes. Mirana is one of the great heroes for that, so it's a pretty good hero-to-player combination, but at the same time, Loda plays a really good Mirana, and perhaps Alliance's goal is just to build a ranged lineup, just farm up very nicely, and towards the mid-game, just beat the enemy from a distance and never really get caught with the Stampede. Oh, interesting.
I like the Loda Mirana a lot more than the Misery. I think they can just give Misery another aggressive hero.
Trant is still decent.
Yeah, Trant's still decent here. Lich, a little more unusual. Not really too much that Frost Armor really does versus mass range, and not that much physical damage. I guess a little bit from Witch Doctor and Viper. What do you think about the Lich?
I don't think they're getting it for Ice Armor. I think they're getting it to win a lane. But the question is if that's to win the dual lane mid, because they're scared that the Viper will just outlane them. So perhaps that's the idea. It could also be a dual lane off lane with the Centaur and just get Mag a really good start. Because obviously when you have Skywrath, he's one of the best supports, if not the best support in the game at zoning out a single off-lane hero. So then if you do that, you don't need a secondary support in the lane. You can either jungle one or you can run one in a different lane. So those two supports in combination make a lot of sense. There's also really good synergy with Ancient Seal and Lich.
Seems like Enigma would have been a little bit better for Cloud9 though than Lich. You can still have the deny in the offlane, and you can still play super greedy. Mags have been having like a rather successful time in the offlane, I'd say, and I don't really think that this game would be that much different for them.
Here we go. Interesting to see the audience clapping at a Terrorblade pick. It's the first Terrorblade in the tournament, right? I think it is. And before that, it was kind of, it's been nerfed in the newest version, but still, in my opinion, a really good pick. Cloud9 is the team that maybe plays it the best out of any Western team. Perhaps Secret can compete with it, but and also Alliance, as a matter of fact, are also good with a hero. But yeah, C9 has been saving it for a long time before they pull it out now.
Win rate 0%. 3 matches.
Really?
That's what it says.
Wow. Okay. I thought Eternal Envy hadn't lost with that hero.
I've seen him lose with it. Okay. Not very often, though.
So all his 3 losses have been in Starladder.
From the games I've seen, it's probably like over 2/3 win rate, I'd say, but I don't have that large of a sample size.
I find it interesting that they pick that after the Void, which I think deals with Terrorblade fairly well. You just need to lock him down. He's easy to burst in the early mid game. You also have a Viper, who is a great counter to the main Terrorblade, not so much to the Illusion, so I guess that's good. But should they get later into the game, then Terrorblade is going to be amazing, because Alliance have pretty garbage AoE.
Well, they can always pick up like a Mag last, too, which isn't completely out of the question here. Aggro try with Viper Mirana, Witch Doctor, try and shut down the Terrorblade, or even just put Faceless Void out there and have them sacked versus a Skywrath. So I think Alliance still have their options open. Terrorblade might have been ignored in the banning phase if Cloud9 wanted to leave it for later. But last hero will be Fada's.
Yeah, what do you think is a good pick here for Cloud9? What's the problem they need to deal with?
I think just a little bit more protection for Terrorblade, because if he gets arrowed or chronoed, they can't really save him right now.
Solo mid Shadow Demon?
Maybe like a frontliner, like Bristleback, like he's played a couple of times.
He's going to get kited, though, with a Viper. That's such a good counter pick, I feel.
Yeah, but at the same time, it leaves Terrorblade.
That's true.
You can't just let the Faceless Void and Viper just like go up all in your face and Terrorblade just running around not doing any damage. They need someone up in front to draw a lot of the fire away.
Dragon Knight?
Squishy. Dragon Knight would be pretty good too. I would like that.
He's very good with Lich armor as well. Then you have 25 armor instead of 16 or whatever. And Alliance are going to last pick a Legion Commander. This is not something I would have expected. Its overwhelming odds is very good against illusion-based heroes, though. So I think that's the main reason they're getting it. But how are they laning then?
Yeah,
Do you think it's aggressive tri-lane and then Legion Commander mid, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. Or even just safe lane, tri-lane, or just tri-solo with dual roam. Alliance definitely have their...
pretty poor synergy with Void, to be honest. Like, you chrono the enemy and you can't duel him in the chrono because you can't get in there. Unless you do it the other way around, so you duel and then afterwards you chrono if you don't kill him during the duel. That's not really what you're setting up for, so... Kind of a weird combination. The other 3 heroes Alliance had all have great synergy with Void, though, so I guess it's okay to have one odd one out here.
Not great versus Skywrath, not even that great versus Lich, too. With a Frost Armor and a Chain Frost, Legion Commander might die before the duel. And
it's a little risky.
Certainly is.
And you can also get silenced really fast by the Skywrath when you blink in for the duel. If he sees you coming and he turns on you instantly with the Ancient Seal and you don't even get the duel off, then you're in a lot of trouble against this lineup of Cloud9.
At the same time, Sunder is pretty useless versus Duel as well as Stampede, so their main defensive capabilities kind of go out the window.
I think it's going to be a luxury for Eternal Envy to even get Sunder off in this game anyway. At least in the first 25 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised to not see it cast once. I think either he doesn't get caught and lives, or he gets caught and dies. So,
but the burden lies on Alliance to, stack up the duels on Legion Commander and keep Terrorblade down. Because if it's just a free farming game, I don't think that Terrorblade will lose out in the end.
They're going to grab a Beastmaster.
It's aggressive.
The aura is good with Terrorblade. It's a good way of protecting him with the Hawk, so Eternal Envy can play with a little more confidence and farm a little bit better. If they kind of have a Hawk scouting for him the whole time, you almost only get killed to smoke ganks, but Alliance has Mirana, so they can still perform those ganks even with a Hawk out. So I think that's a big plus for them, having Moonlight Shadow in this game. In addition to that, what else is there to say about the Beastmaster? The Roar is great against Legion Commander when you duel. You just make the counterplay. She's stuck there. She probably loses the duel.
Great synergy with Skywrath.
Yeah.
Decent synergy with Centaur.
I think it's a good pick here. Although, you often take Beastmaster with, if you have like more than one core, that's often a good way. You could maybe call Centaur, or more than one carry rather. Centaur can kind of semi-carry, but usually Cloud9 doesn't play that way. Because the attack speed aura is, of course, really beneficial when you have 2 or 3 heroes that can make use of it. But I still think it's good enough.
All right. On the Radiant side, we have Alliance going up versus Cloud9. Introducing the lineups, we have Loda on the Viper, Admiral Bulldog playing the offlane Void, maybe safe lane this game, Misery on the support Mirana, Ake on that support Witch Doctor, and in the mid lane, 8-Mother on that Legion Commander. And on the Dire side, you want to do the honors?
Okay. Sounded like you were going to roll with that. Yeah, in the mid lane, we're going to have Eternal Envy playing as the Terrorblade, together with Aoi 2000 Lich, so perhaps not the lane Alliance are expecting here. Mag will be running the off-lane Centaur. That's probably a lane Alliance are expecting. And then in the top lane, we've got Pilot Eye on the Skywrath Mage, together with Fata on that Beastmaster.
So Alliance will be able to play rather greedily with their supports. Both Observer Wards have been used, one at each rune. Alliance not really showing what they're doing yet with the lanes. Looks like it will be a standard 1-1-3 with a safe lane try. So no mid for Admiral Bulldog, nothing unusual. I think C9 will be predicting this in the end.
And 8-Mother is going to need help. He cannot stand in this lane even. There's going to have to be a rotation from either the Witch Doctor or the Mirana to help him out in the lane. Lich will hold back the lane. Eternal Envy will just farm. Sure, you can get a few last hits with overwhelming odds, but it's still 100 mana cost ability for an 18-second cooldown. And the thing is, you need to set up to get like multiple creep kills with it for it to be really effective, and he's only going to get one every time if Cloud9 control the lane well.
At the same time, though, the two supports on Alliance are kind of free to roam. Viper matches up well enough versus the Centaur, actually pretty well, and they don't really need to zone him out that often, especially since he doesn't have a rune ward, or sorry, a creep block ward. They can just pull, keep the lane back, and Mag might be out of luck for experience.
We instantly see the mid ping coming out from Misery. He's like, okay, they're running a dual lane mid. That might not be what they expected as it would seem when they ping the map like that. Question is what they're going to do about it. Looks like for now they're trying to set up in the top lane. This is a long-range arrow from Misery. It's not going to connect. Oh, wow. Pi didn't even see that coming. He almost ran into it, but gets lucky this time around. I think he might have survived anyway. Misery couldn't have gotten range to attack. And, wow, Bulldog is just... Whoa.
Okay. Underestimating the damage of Skywrath Mage.
Like, oh, wait, I didn't skill Time Walk. I have Bash.
He did have a Stout Shield. Maybe he thought that was going to let him get away, but
I didn't even use a Tango either. Yeah. That was a little bit of a good morning play.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, level 1 Axis also does a surprising amount of damage.
Yeah, it's been changed with the removal of the compendium composite damage type. Of course, all the composite abilities have now been changed to physical. I believe every single one are strictly physical now. So only affected by armor. Void has 4 armor. So it's probably better on all levels against Void until he gets more armor than he has right now, instead of that magic resist that used to play into the equation.
Yeah, he's going to need more survivability in this lane. Poor man's shield and magic stick to survive. I mean, this shouldn't happen as an offlane Void. It's not that strong of a dual lane coming out from C9.
No, that's the first blood we can definitely agree that there was no way Cloud9 should have ever got. So it's a really good start for them securing that. Beastmaster, I believe, did get the last hit, didn't he? I think so. He is currently 1-0 on the Beastmaster, so 11 last hits to go with that. It's probably going to be either a fast Blink Dagger for Fata or he could be a mech carrier in this game. Beastmaster is a pretty good mech carrier.
Misery slowed up by Pylai and Aoian. This guy's caught out there. These wards are completely paying off for Cloud9, and Alliance actually haven't even made a move for the mid lane yet. So mid lane's losing hard. Top lane is losing very hard too, and it's only a Viper with 10 CS. Not that great 2.5 minutes in.
Well, at least he's winning his lane against Mag, so that's something. It's not a complete disaster for Alliance, but...
Well, they should be winning this 2-on-1. I mean, I would say he's not winning it as much as they should be, so it's
I guess
like
that's a good point.
Slightly a loss there.
Ake needs to move, in my opinion, but it's hard to just find an easy lane to go to find kills.
They should just smoke mid, go with Cask and Arrow, try and get a kill on Aoi.
Might be the best play right now. Just getting 8 Mother back in the lane. He has 8 CS, which I think is totally fine, to be honest. This is a kind of lane where you should just be crushed, so... Maybe even a little more than I would have expected, but of course overwhelming odds does make it quite easy to get at least some last hits. Well, Mag getting cast up by Ake in the jungle, just stealing some of the experience, and now going to pull away the creeps and get some last hits. Witch Doctor can't deal with this. He can't stop Mag from doing this. And he's even going to bully Ake. Here's Boots advantage. Ake could be in trouble. Oh, has the Voodoo Restoration skill. It's going to be fine.
Still Misery coming around from the rune spot. Is Cask coming off cooldown anytime soon? There they go, nicely timed. Stomp by Mag will interrupt the arrow. Stun.
And I think Misery should have tried for that. Like, he came...
Oh, they waiting for the Cask.
They did have a ward, though, but if Mag is not paying attention there, hitting an arrow from this angle is fairly easy, but waiting that long makes it... Sure, they wanted to combo it with a Cask, but with the counterplay from Mag's with Stomp, that was very easy to escape from and not get hit by the arrow, so... Failed rotation from Alliance. This early game is really looking grim. It's looking worse than I thought it would for them. And now Ake could be in trouble if Aoi will catch up. He does have the boots advantage, so good arrow. Still gonna miss though. And Ake should be dropping here. Yeah, he's gone.
Mag's just doing an excellent job of always keeping tags on Witch Doctor. He might fought a Loto. Just one more right click. That huge Nether Toxin damage.
But that's a good trade for Alliance. That's better than... Just a 1-for-1 right now is probably favoring them, unless they sacrifice a core for a support. If it's support for support, core for core, it's probably better for them because Cloud9 are off to a better start. And getting that kill on Loda secures him probably a fast mech for Alliance, as well as now reaching level 6 before Mag does. Well before Mag does, obviously, since he's
Do you think it's worth it for EE to get a bottle? He got the bounty rune with it on top, but it slows down your Trez, your Yasha, and if they really wanted one, I think Aoi could have picked one up and just loaned it to him, or lent it to him.
Yeah, I think the boots on Aoi are paying off, though. He would have had to skip boots, or the bottle would be very late. And with Eternal Envy getting the bottle like this, he can... You're right, he could have been sponsored one by Aoi, basically, but like this, he's going to get a couple of runes, and then he can farm the jungle very early on.
Or he can just wait for 6 and sunder like a Tranquil Aoi or something like that.
Yeah, that's true. They have some plays with this bottle. Most importantly, it allows him to farm pretty freely, since one of the issues Terrorblade can get in the early to mid game is running out of mana from using Conjure Image, but that should not be an issue now.
Interesting build coming up from him. Faceless Void seems to have recovered, okay, 13 CS as opposed to Beastmaster's 26.
And level 5.
Yeah, it's all right. Trying to sneak in an arrow. Misery hiding in the trees to the left side, looking for a target, but none to be found.
And even should he land it, they can't kill the Beastmaster. It has to be on Pylai, and maybe in addition to the arrow landing, Misery needs to catch up. I don't think Bulldog can do the full 300 damage. So, well, another bounty rune for Envy. Just going to keep that for a while. Got the boots working on Treads. Loda still the farming master so far in this game, ahead by 7 up on Eternal Envy, so... Well, do you feel like this is good enough for Alliance? It looks like they've recovered. And 6-minute mech, by the way, is pretty amazing.
Well,
so.
they have to do something with the mech, though. They have to either shut down Terrorblade's farm or dodge or counter the ganks from Cloud9 impending from Centaur and Beastmaster. So I think it's good enough recovery for them, but I think that Cloud9 has the upper edge in the 8 to 14 minutes unless Alliance makes some pretty slick moves. Vada going for the Arcane build. Looks like an Arcane mech from him.
For me, the 8 to 14 minutes might be fairly even. When you look over Alliance's lineup, they have some really good synergy. Chronosphere is going to be available at that point. I think Ake will maybe be level 6 at around 10 to 12 minutes.
I think they like damage, though. Like, Void's not going to be outputting any damage.
Viper, Arrow, overwhelming odds level 4.
Yes.
With
but
Death Ward, I think it's pretty good.
I don't know if Aki's going to hit level 6 anytime soon, though. And you got to talk about these instant, like really quick ganks from Cloud9 with Roar into Chain Frost. Lich is already level 6. Roar into Skywrath ult. And on top of that, the Centaur. Centaur's not that close to Blink, though, and I think that's the one saving grace for Alliance right now.
It's going to take Mag quite a while to get there. He's currently about 1,800 gold short, so...
Beastmaster level 6 is online, and looks like Skywrath has to play, or Faceless Void has to play much, much safer.
Bottom lane, they're connecting onto Mag. The Loda's going to use the ultimate as well. This is going to be a very easy kill. Long-range arrow from Misery setting that up. Very, very easy once that arrow lands, and even more emphasis put on Loda's lane. Is now going to have the treads as well. He is getting very, very rich. About 1,000 net worth ahead of Eternal Envy at this point, as a matter of fact. And looking to be the big player for Alliance in this game. As of recently, Loda perhaps been the most stable player in the team. Going back to ESL 1 New York, at least, a very standout performance by him there. He even got voted as the MVP of the tournament, although Alliance did get knocked out fairly early. And he's playing really well these days.
He is indeed. At the same time, Viper doesn't match up very well versus Terrorblade in the later game. At least not to my knowledge.
No.
Yeah, so.
That corrosive skin, though. Slow all the Illus.
Easy.
Get a Shiva.
Easy damage. No interrupt for Sunder, I think, is the biggest part.
Yeah, it's true.
And
Ape Mother, 26
Bulldog
CS.
Misery.
Oh, wait a second.
I mean, that's a very difficult chrono position into a duel. And at the same time, if they don't kill him during a chrono, he'll just immediately Chain Frost.
Like they found a plan B. They're going to go on Envy. That's the chrono. Going to wait on the arrow. Oh, actually combining the arrow very early. Envy does not have Sunder, however. I still think he's going to live through this and maybe even turn it around. He's got an AFK illusion right now. Misery's going to leap through. Will be dealing good damage, but not enough. And now Skywrath Mage will probably be getting this kill. Asfata has picked off Ape Mother with his Primal Roar as well. No, yeah, actually did use it. And now Misery's going to die. Alliance way in over their heads on that gank. And that's their problem you were talking about. Their damage just isn't really there. Bulldog does not hit hard. His 10% bash chance, no treads, no Mask of Madness, and level 2 arrow. Almost feel like that was naive to even try for that play.
Well, as you pointed out, the arrow came a little bit too early, and he just kind of walked away unscathed. Maybe if they had Legion Commander there for overwhelming odds, it would have been an instant kill. But yeah, they really are liking damage, and they didn't really want to go on the Lich. I think Lich would have been slightly easier than venturing close to that T2. C9 was completely prepared for that. Very nice, quick reaction, and right now it's just Loda really that's even doing like moderately, like close to par. Everyone else is just really underfarmed on the side of Radiant. Legion Commander very far behind, Lich and Terrorblade combined. Bulldog, no use in this first Chronosphere, gave up first blood, so I mean their net worth is just extremely poor.
And now you combine that with a Beastmaster with a 10-minute blink, who does only have 2 points in Wild Axes, but 4 in the Call of the Wild. He can solo kill these supports when he hits level 9. And that's when it starts getting scary. When you're under-leveled as supports, the enemy team has great pick-off potential multiple ways. They have Stampede, they have a Beastmaster Blink, even Skywrath is level 6.
And the scarier part is
Cloud9.
you can't turtle up and farm, not versus a Terrorblade. If you do, you're just going to get split push of death, or he'll just get way bigger than your Viper will. So Alliance has to feel the pressure. Maybe once they get Moonlight Shadow on the Mirana, ganks may come to them a little bit easier. But at this point, Legion Commander, 500 gold, way far off from her Blink Dagger, and I think the Beastmaster is going to start wrecking people.
He gets level 8 from a Bounty Rune, so that's another point in Wild Axes. A pretty important point as well. Probably makes the difference between whether he can solo kill or not. And we're going to see it shown off right here. Blinking onto Ape Mother with the Roar. Nice solo kill. With quite a bit of help from Highlight Eye. Would not have got that kill alone.
And now it's Cloud9 taking over their jungles. They see this big stack too. Is Cloud9 going to be able to take it? Oh no. Well, looks like they finally get their first kill. Witch Doctor Ultimate use as well as Chronosphere.
Yeah, they will be taking down, who was that? That was Mag's Centaur, so decent kill. Of course, using 2 ultimates for it, but still well worth it for Alliance. They need to find some sort of grip on the game, but they were probably looking to find Envy, and he's just not being, he's not being countered at all, as you pointed out. It's got 68 CS at 12 minutes. It's, okay, maybe slightly counter, but not even nearly enough.
Yeah, and I mean, Cloud9 with that big stack still too. I think there was a triple or a quad stack on the Radiant side. That's really bad for Alliance. That means no one else is going to get anything besides the Viper. It would have been really good for Legion Commander to overwhelming odds it a couple of times, be maybe 3/4 of the way to Blink Dagger. Arrow coming out, will miss.
And Envy just doesn't care in the top lane. He's just standing there farming with a Void next to him. He knows Chronosphere is on cooldown, so very easy to grab as much farm as he can up here. In the off-lane, Mag still working on his Blink Dagger on the Centaur. He's about 1,000 off now, so realistically maybe 5 minutes away, maybe a little less if they get a tower or if he gets a kill. And Alliance are like, screw it. We need to start getting some map control against Envy. We've only taken the bot tier 1. We're going to start looking for more towers with a mech advantage. I think Cloud9 are just going to let this one go.
Yeah, I think they have to do something with the Viper, though. If he just spot him and farm, it's a waste of a mech. And they will proceed to get 2 quick towers, so Alliance closing that gold lead a little bit.
And Loda's going to make them up nice. So probably just going to rotate to the next lane, to be honest. They're going to have Chronosphere when they come to the top lane out of Bulldog as well.
It's still not really limiting C9's farm. It's not like they're committing 4 heroes to defending a tower. A fight doesn't happen and then they lose a tower. It's only Fada there. He feels very, very safe because of the Blink Dagger, and Envy's just farming it up in his jungle. I don't really think they want to let this top T1 fall, but they may have no choice. Fada smoked up with Pylai, looking for an easy kill. 8 Mother, 1150 HP, not the easiest kill, especially right next to his T1, but they really need like a Chronosphere or a Witchdoctor cast to kind of counter this.
Yeah, 8 Mother's so dead right now. Roar, there's going to be the Skywrath ultimate, Axis, Silence, and you actually no! They pulled out. I think maybe Pi could have got off another Arcane Bolt there, but... And even the arrow is going to connect now from Misery. Don't know whether there's enough follow-up. Bulldog is thinking about it, but getting chased down by 2 boars.
Loda solo pushing top. There's a TP in from Fada. Can he stop it? I mean, all in all, that's still not bad for... Not that bad for Cloud9. Yes, they could have gotten a kill, but they were scared of the mass TPs. Don't want to give 8 Mother any dual damage.
Yeah, and in essence, they force a response from Alliance and Envy's
bottom
just
lane,
farming.
Misery just gets obliterated after the Ancient Seal.
That nuke from Lich hits so damn hard when you have Ancient Seal on. He didn't even need to use the Chain Frost, so... Very, very easy kill for Cloud9. And well, start the game. Envy untouched again. As long as they keep making action with the other 4 heroes, it's pretty classic 4 protect 1 out of Cloud9 here. And there's no... Is there any hope for Alliance come late game? Do you think it's possible with a farmed Void, with a Legion Commander with items, Viper getting really good farm too?
I think it has to come from misplay from C9s. Like, they'd have to group up for like 3 or 4 main Chronos. If Beastmaster doesn't get caught, he roars. If Sky doesn't get caught, he just dumps it on top of the Terror Blade, and Faceless Void won't have a BKB by that point, or he just gets hit by Chain Frost. There's so many ways to dissuade and initiate, and on top of that, it's like a duel too. You can't really just go in and duel without a BKB without just immediately dying. So I think, yes, Cloud9 does have a huge advantage at this point, and unless Alliance does something in the next 10 minutes, it's going to go as most Terror Blade games go.
And 8 Mother's presence hasn't really been felt in this game. He hasn't even made an assist yet in a 15-minute game on Legion Commander. He's getting close to a Blink Dagger, which is good news, but they picked this to counter the Terror Blade illusions. And if nothing happens, that ability will fall off later on.
Well,
so
they
looking
saw
for him
him
to
with
find something.
With a Hawk on top,
yep.
So that Smoke Gank has been scouted out. And now we went for a Midas. He just feels that comfortable. They don't need a mech. Just happily golden creeps.
Oh, is Envy really able to do this? He's trying to solo Roche with a level 10 Terror Blade. He can tank it with the illusion. I guess he's just keeping it next to him just to sunder it instead.
The slow poison from the...
Slow from the boar. There is no way Alliance are expecting this. This is such an unusual way of doing Roshan. I'm pretty sure Cloud9 are going to get this as a freebie. Well, kind of. They sacrificed the tier 1 tower top, but that was going to happen anyway. So, very nice display out here from Envy. It's going to sunder now on the illusion. Before it expires, of course, and summon a new illusion with pretty good health. And now that one's going to tank for him for a couple of swings from Roshan. Now the boar can tank as well. For some reason, it's not attacking Roche. I don't know. I guess they're friends or something, but no.
Very cheeky play from Cloud9.
This is really, really well done. Oh, they're even going to get Bulldog in mid as well. Combining Mag's new Blink Dagger with Firelight Ice Burst. The pick-off potential from Cloud9 is just so damn good.
Their overall game plan is just a lot more sound than Alliance's. Alliance didn't win any of the lanes. They don't have the late game secured. They don't have early game secured. And the mid game is all about pressuring with Viper and snowballing with the Legion Commander, but they haven't really been able to do anything. The one thing they have been doing is just taking down all the T1s, but now that the T1s are down, what do they really do? C9 has superior map control with the Blink Dagger on the Beastmaster, as well as Illusion Scouting, the Hawk Scouting, and over-farm supports.
It's definitely hard for Alliance. They're going to get a duel on Fata top. That duel has ended long ago, though, and he's actually going to turn on them with the Roar. Will probably still be chased down by a Void. Ends up using the Chrono for that as well. Very expensive kill. At the same time, though, Loda as well as Misery connect on Aoi 2000. So 2 kills going the way of Alliance. Much needed kills as well, as they're dropping 7,500 experience behind, actually. That's a lot here. 2,000 gold is manageable, but...
Alliance doesn't have good anti-split push either. Or they can't split push out lanes themselves with the threat of the Skywrath and the Beastmaster for Faceless Void. As we saw in mid, he was like right next to his T1, and still he died before his teammates could react. So that really puts Bulldog in a very precarious position. He can't really push out any lanes. At the same time, they need to if they want to push down these T2s or stop Terrorblade's farm of any sort. And Terrorblade's just free to do whatever he wants. He is still 2,000 net worth behind Loda there after a Viper striking Pilot Eye.
But even being 2,000 net worth behind, it still feels like when Eternal Envy reaches a net worth of like 12 or 13,000, he is stronger than a 16 or 17,000 net worth Viper. Just in general game impact, even should a one-on-one situation be happening, he's still going to win that one as well. And Loda, he's going to get controlled in the fights. I think they have the solutions with between Roar. Even the Skywrath Silence is actually really useful, because then Loda can't lock on his target. And we're going to see them open on Fata up here right now. There is going to be the Moonlight Shadow and an arrow onto Fata. They have no detection with them. He might live. There is a Sentry Ward on Aoi. He's going to drop it in the middle of the lane, but Loda with the very wise move going up north and escape.
Still, he shows you how quick he is to die when simply focused, and they don't really have that much to stop them. Still, Alliance, they're still picking up other items on heroes aside from Loda. See, Mask of Madness recently completed on the Faceless Void, as well as a Blink Dagger finally acquired for the Legion Commander. But still, not that much damage, not compared to EE.
He's going to be pushing this top tier 1. There's the jump in from Mag as well as the Skywrath connection. Just so damn easy for Cloud9 getting these pickoffs. Whenever Alliance are just slightly out of position, they immediately pick up on it and get a free kill.
I think the Centaur is going to be a hot point of contest in the first phase of the ban next game. Either Alliance ban it or first pick it. It's just ridiculous. He had like 9 CS 6 or 7 minutes in, but they just can't stop this combo, or even the Skywrath ban. They're just way too effective of a duo, and Alliance can't handle it.
Or if you want to give that away, I don't think Witch Doctor Viper is your opener. That's not really... I still feel like that was a weird choice.
It's a good opener if you commit to a 5-man push strat. But with like the Faceless Void and the Legion Commander, it's not that great at 5-man.
Mirana's also weak at that.
Yeah, so. I think if they followed up with like a EGS draft with, you know, like a Tree or Abaddon into like a Nature's Prophet, I think that would have been, I don't know what...
Or Dragon Knight?
Yeah, something like that would have been a lot stronger. But they deviated from what the hero's strengths are. Fata gets chronoed in mid. Pilot Eye just on the edge of it. Arrow to follow up. It will miss, but Time Lock will finish off Fata.
A little bit of a bonus Hawk kill here for Misery as well. 65 gold in the pocket. And Alliance will be looking to get the tier 2. I don't know whether they're going to get away with this, or if they get it, they might be trading off for... If Eternal Envy wanted to go for a cute play, he could try to backdoor the tier 1 in mid while they're pushing the tier 2. But looks like he's aiming to defend. Does have the Aegis of the Immortal. And Alliance probably don't want to duel him. And they also can't, because Legion Commander is in the Radiant jungle right now. That's just going to be an initiation here. They're going to go on Misery. Blown up. And Loda now trying to turn for a kill onto Mag. Mag taking a lot of damage. There's the Witch Doctor ultimate as well. Chain Frost bouncing around. Loda taking incredible hits out of Eternal Envy. Easy double kill. Actually, not both of them going to Envy. The first one was claimed by Mag, but Alliance choosing a 4-on-4 fight willingly under the enemy tier 2 tower with all abilities available.
Aside from Chrono.
They need the Legion Commander there. That's just not... That's not a fight you can take.
Well, they got wrecked by the Chain Frost, and it was a decent initiation for Mag. Misery was quick enough to leave out beforehand, but EE just sundered him, and he just got blown up immediately after. So they don't really have that much mitigation, too. I think they kind of need a pipe to deal with the Skywrath and the Centaur and the Lich, but Viper can't buy everything. He's really struggling to be both a damage output and a tank. And that's really where Legion Commander and Faceless Void need to pick up the slack.
What do you think about the Midas and Void, speaking of him?
Did he just pick one up?
Yeah, he just picked up a 22-minute Midas. Looks like it's recovery plan for Alliance to try to go into super late game. I just flat out think this is the wrong choice. I think it's not going to be worth its weight in gold. He can't fight at all right now. He needed some more damage to actually be able to commit, or a BKB perhaps.
But don't you think they're going to lose the fights anyways in the next 10 minutes?
Maybe, but he's building for a mid-late game that we kind of agreed that, or we very much agreed so that Cloud9 are going to win anyway. So why play for the late game if that's not your strong part? I mean, is that really enough? I guess the good news for them is Cloud9 don't look like they want to push, so maybe they can get away with it.
They don't need to. They can just wait till Terrorblade gets 6 slotted at 40, 45 minutes in and then just make a death push. I don't think it's the right choice, but at the same time, there's no... Like, if he gets a Maelstrom, they're still going to lose fights anyways. So it's just not a great position for him. At the same time, like maybe they can like sneak in a Roche and pull something sneaky over Cloud9. But Cloud9's been the one that's pulling out all the tricks.
I think Alliance need BKBs though.
Yeah,
it's the one solution, and that's what I personally would have recommended for the Void. Not like he still does pretty bad damage. Let's be honest with a BKB, but at least he can deal damage. When he goes in for a Chrono, if there's any sort of counterplay, he can Chrono and then he has to run away.
Well, I think they need a pipe on Viper, and then they can kind of 5-man. That might be a little bit better for them, but at the same time, TB will wail into him.
And Loda has to get damage items for the team, because no one else is dealing it. So
they're in a pickle. Bada closing in on Necro 3, too. He is getting really fat.
That's true. One recipe to go, so about 1,200 gold, and he's got that.
On the flip side, you have
Cloud9. Good counter to Moonlight Shadow.
That's true. On the flip side, you have Cloud9, who Beastmaster doing a lot of work with his spells, Skyrat doing a ton of damage, Lich doing a ton of damage with his Chain Frost too. So C9 actually have far more damage output than Alliance, even though Alliance have far better right clickers.
And Eternal Envy has now finally overtaken Loda on farm. He was about 2,000 gold behind, what was that, 6 minutes ago? Or maybe 7? So his GPM now starting to go through the roof. It doesn't matter how well the Viper plays, you cannot keep up with the pace of a Terrorblade unless you have some sort of better farming mechanic than Viper. Obviously, strictly single target, and not even that good at that when it comes to farming camps.
But how do they stop these like one-man Roshians, which will definitely pull EE ahead? Like if they focus him in team fights, whatever, he'll just either A, Sunder, or B, reincarnate with the Aegis, and Viper will die most of the time in these team fights because he's the only one that really does anything. So
I'm not sure. I think Alliance need more vision. And I'm saying that when they have 4 wards, but well, perhaps it is actually enough. This one, very important one, just got placed. That's the one
Blink Roar on Loda, followed by an Ancient Seal, Mystic Flare combo, easy kill on Alliance's most farmed hero.
And that's the scary part, right? Alliance feel like they've got good map coverage. They've got 2 wards in the Dire jungle, they've got 1 in the mid lane, and 1 at the Roche pit. The latter probably the most important right now.
This DD on EE.
Yeah, good luck.
It's a split. And on top of that, the Inner Beast Aura and the Necro.
Dodging the overwhelming odds. Very well played by Eternal Envy there, seeing that coming and splitting out his illusions here. While still not be claiming the tower, but do some good damage as Misery's now hanging out in the bot lane. Will be using his ultimate, scared of being opened upon. And it just doesn't seem like Alliance are getting anything out of the map. We said Eternal Envy just overtook Loda a moment ago. Oh, he's 1,500 ahead. They killed him once. Eternal Envy free farms. He's going to have a Scotty in, what's that, a minute and a half? Maybe not even, maybe 1 minute.
Next Roshan probably pretty soon too, so.
Alliance have to fight for it, I just don't know if they can.
Well, it looks like they're going to go to other route with the Midas on the Void, with the recent gem pickup on Mirana, take control of their side of the map. Hopefully Cloud9 don't have eyes on their side and they can maybe outfarm.
It's always going to be the Hawk though. It's the tricky part.
That thing is really useful if microed well.
Beastmaster in general just seems to be an underappreciated hero. When you see how much you can do with these 2 Hawks scouting out, of course the overlap time is... You don't have 2 for very long, but just even 1, just look at how much vision this is giving. That was a little big, that circle. Not too good at drawing with this mouse, but you can still just have a look at how much it's covering. It's pretty insane. Of course, it's worse during nighttime, but even then, still very valuable.
Going for a smoke gank, no Moonlight Shadow, and C9 immediately retreat back under the guise of a T2 and a T3, and this is just a impossibly difficult position for Alliance to gank.
How are they going to kill the Terrorblade? He has 31 armor with ice armor on, 1800 health with agility treads. And if he has any illusion next to him when he uses Conjure Image with full health, he can just sunder that if they don't burst him down. He doesn't even need to sunder an opponent.
Mass bashes from Void. Infinite stun lock.
What is it? Is there an internal cooldown on that? It's only on the basher there's an internal cooldown, right? I think so. There's absolutely no way. In theory, you can perma-bash, but it's very unlikely.
Greater Bash has cooldown too, I think. Or on Spear Breaker. But aside from that, Cloud9 successfully dodges smoking. Alliance fall behind and farm with that. And Cloud9 might get a free tower.
Bottom lane, Roar and Loda. They're going to follow up with Mac. Just look at the burst. They're even TPing an 8-Mother to try to help, but he's too late. Now he's going to be hit by the boar. Should have slowed down quite a bit. Okay, that's overwhelming. Oh, it's getting rid of.
At this point, they just have to sit behind Loda. I think Admiral Bulldog has to be the one to sit behind him.
Then they're getting really out-farmed.
Well, it's better than Loda dying.
Well, I guess. But neither is good enough. That's kind of the problem. Roche will be easily claimed by Eternal Envy with the same trick as before, just that now it's a lot easier because he's extremely farmed. Doesn't even need the boar anymore to help. This is insane. He hits Roshan for about 150 damage per attack. And down he goes. This is probably go time for Cloud9 on a couple of tier 2s. If they don't even have to, but I think they might as well. The chance of them losing a fight there is really low, and it just secures the game for them.
The sad part is Terrorblade's only 2-slotted. Just Scotty and Manta. Granted, those are very big items, but Loda had more farm, did less, and now that EE has more farm, it's no contest who will win out in a team fight. Unless they have some spectacular plays with like a Death Ward or GG Chronos from Admiral Bulldog, but...
Mid lane, speaking of GG Chronos, he's going to land one now. Not too GG for me, but still good enough to get the kill on Mag. Fata will have a Roar Bulldog. There is going to be some sort of follow-up here from Ally, but Bulldog's out of mana. The mana burn from the book will give them a 1-for-1 trade.
See, in that sort of situation, even if he gets a BKB, he still gets roared, he still gets board slowed, and he probably still loses his mana.
Roared and bored. Well, Alliance are trying for something. Am I imagining things, or have we seen one duel this game in a 30-minute game?
I don't think so. It's just I don't really know why they picked the Legion Commander.
3-1 have not felt his presence in any shape or form in this game. And I don't know. I feel like in this tournament, 8-Mother, he's coming in as a stand-in. He's obviously not as experienced as the Alliance players. He's playing against some of the world's best players here. Do you feel like he is underperforming based on what you were expecting? Or is he playing okay but just put in really hard positions?
He's put in terrible positions. How are you going to succeed versus a Lich Terrorblade lane? How are you going to get off duels without dying versus a Skywrath? And how are you supposed to find energy synergy with your offlaner? If they had like a Timber or something with Nice Burst or, I mean, a Skywrath on their team, I think things would be a lot different. But the chrono kills are really difficult, even just getting a simple dual kill. They only have Witch Doctor to follow up on it. And if your only combination is from a support, something's lacking in your draft. I would have liked to see the Magnus come out instead, but
he would have been stumped in lane as well, though. Like,
well,
absolutely crushed.
At least he doesn't really he can like build for late game, which is kind of what Alliance's game plan is, as opposed to having the dual people to be useful later. Like right now, he doesn't do that much AoE damage. Overwhelming odds is certainly going to fall off. He doesn't have any dual damage to scale off of, and he has to get a BKB to just survive. On the flip side, if you get like a Magnus, you can clear Terrorblade's illusions very, very easily. You can discern which one is the real one, and you can buff up your Faceless Void in case he falls further behind. So
there's power would have been good. That's true.
Yeah, there's no like backup plan for a Legion Commander if he falls in the lane, and he failed in the lane like in the first 5 minutes, not due to like his own fault.
Loda's going to get opened on again. Mag with the stomp. They're hesitating a little bit. Great chrono from Bulldog on 3. Is there follow-up? There is an arrow on Fata. That's going to be 1 kill. He's trying to turn onto Pi, but look at him just getting turned on. Chain Frost, lots of damage, bouncing down toward Misery, but it's currently a 3-for-1 for Alliance. It's a 4-for-1, one of them being the Aegis.
The carry Witch Doctor, this Ags Scepter.
Look at it go. Right there, the chrono from Bulldog, great setup. That's just what they needed. Finally, Alliance finding some momentum. They won a duel. We have a winner. 8-Mother will claim that. Now Alliance will probably claim a tier 2 as their second prize. That was a big swing.
Ake is the true winner.
That's true.
Now I think all they really need to do is just focus on the Witch Doctor, because he's actually by far the most significant amount of damage, and he just destroyed the Terrorblade, and that is a solution for the illusions too. The mass bounce from the Death Ward.
Was the plan all along when they picked Witch Doctor first? It's definitely paying off here. Ake's played a good game so far. He's only died once. He's 3-1-4. Has managed to find quite a bit of farm, which it's kind of a rarity that we see Ake finding much farm. But in this game, they've decided to prioritize him over the Mirana, which I can 100% agree with. You saw why there. That is why you want to get your Witch Doctor to the farm as a support in most cases. And maybe there's a sliver of hope for Alliance. We might have been a little bit too quick to count them out. That was a 5,000 golden experience swing in one fell swoop.
Well, Cloud9 also grouped up fairly well outside of the range of their T2 tower. They could have probably sat around the tower, a couple guys to the left, a couple guys in between the T2 and the T3, and one guy to the right, and they wouldn't have even been in a position for Bulldog to hit a half-decent Chronosphere. So I think Cloud9 kind of let that position, or got out of position because of overconfidence with the Aegis. And yeah, another Midas coming out from Alliance. Seen this
33-minute Midas on Misery. Oh, they're aiming for late. That's one thing that's completely certain. I mean, well, if they start getting farm on Misery and on Bulldog and on Loda at the same time, those 3 carries can probably outscale a Terrorblade come 60 to 70 minutes, but I don't think Cloud9 are aiming to take the game that long. They're looking to go when Eternal Envy peaks, which is not far off. Butterfly soon completed.
I think Butterfly's probably it, or close to it. Just 3 items, maybe like Aegis cheese, and then go high ground. If Admiral Bulldog doesn't hit a good Chronosphere, or Aki doesn't get a good Death Ward off, it should be fight over, and even with buybacks, they won't have the ultimates to deal with C9. But at the same time, if they kill Eternal Envy while he's in range form and he respawns with melee, they can't really capitalize off the Aegis too. So I see C9 still heavily favored progressing in this game, but Alliance showing some signs of life.
Well, they've got their own jungle under control at least. Actually, no wards out anymore for Cloud9. They're playing a little bit in the dark, so...
That was the gem from...
That's been very valuable, Misery's gem so far. After he picked it up, he hasn't been picked off, which is, of course, very important. The swing in gold that would have brought would be a big problem. With no vision on the map, Cloud9 can't really go for the pickoffs in the same way that they used to. They can still use the Hawk, but it's not as reliable, and for now, it's standing AFK here. Now it's moving.
They're sitting behind Loda, waiting for the gank.
It's not coming, though.
Yeah, it's not coming, but still.
Because the Hawk is scouting out, and they see there's no one on the map apart from Ake in the mid lane. That's kind of an alarm bell ringing.
Net worth for Terrorblade, a little under 5,000 over the Viper at this point. Legion Commander slowly but steadily is getting her way back into the game. Number 5 in terms of net worth. Just under the Void, who did get a catch-up Midas. And Faceless Void almost completed BKB. Just 1,300 gold to go. Not bad. 1,400.
And will it be the problem for Cloud9 that they're too patient? It's something we talked about with EG yesterday in a game against Secret, Game 1, where they could have potentially won by pushing earlier. At least we think there was an opportunity for it.
Well...
Is Cloud9 going to make the same mistake?
They can't really do that much without the Aegis, though, right? It's too risky to go in with the Terrorblade. If they just dump everything on Terrorblade, C9 has to bail out, even if Chronosphere and Duel and Witch Doctor...
Oh, Roar! Oh, no. Opening on Bulldog, full combination. Easy kill. Mech even being used by Lotus. That's not available should they want to fight on, which they don't.
Stampede to save the Necro.
Get out. Oh, they're turning again. It was a fake. It was a trap. They are going on to Loda here with some good Skadi slow as well as high damage from Eternal Envy. He is going to go invisible, but there is a gem, and Mag even has dust. Loda is going to lose out here. He will be falling. No! The duel onto Mag, but there is one more Arcane Bolt following him. He will be brought down. Lich also claiming the life of Ake and 8-Mother. That's a very optimistic TP, not making it out. 4-0. No Aegis even needed for Cloud9 when they take a fight like that. We could be looking... No, we can't.
Why is he going high ground? There's no creeps.
Well, Envy has the confidence. He might have the damage with the Beastmaster Aura and a couple of illusions.
That's true. I
think they can get through this, but they need everyone to attack it. They're forcing a buyback from 8-Mother, who will come in with overwhelming odds. Still, just 2 illusions. It actually kills them from full health still, so still a potent counter.
And C9 just looking for that opportunity. And that's the thing, they can make go into fights with the most informed decision with the back of the Beastmaster Hawk. and Alliance can't really keep any wards up on the map because of that gem. And if Cloud9 have vision and get the jump on a key hero like Bulldog, the fight is over. So what do Alliance really do to counter this? They kind of need to get a jump on Cloud9 and get better vision, but that's just really, really difficult unless they have some like sick Moonlight Shadows or Cloud9 is playing from a very strange position down a hill or something like that. But Cloud9 have been very good at reacting to Alliance's ganks. They have very good sense of where they are around the map and are rarely caught off guard.
Yeah. The Beastmaster Hawk is just doing work as well. It seemed that they don't really need that much vision. They don't need the wards. They don't only use the Hawk for scouting. They also use the Boar. And we haven't really talked about that, how Beastmaster, in theory, with 2 Boars and 2 Hawks, can almost cover all paths inside the Radiant jungle, for example, making it very difficult for Alliance to move out. And if they're all missing when you're scouting their jungle, they're probably smoked or in Moonlight Shadow, and then you just play back.
And you can use Necrobooks to scout if you really need to.
They have so many options.
Another smoke coming out from Alliance.
Oh,
4 man.
Are they actually going to try for this Loda? It's only Fata and Aoi. He is alone, though. And they're going to go for it now, probably. Yes, there's a duel in mid. They're going on Mag. They will not be winning the duel, but they will be killing him off.
They're going on bottom lane right now, too.
He is stampeding, will not be getting out, but yeah, Loda will be the trade. The moment they see the initiation mid, they know they can go for this kill easily. And again, favoring Cloud9. They're farming more at the same time. Envy in that top lane. He is going to put a lot of pressure. Is overwhelming odds available? No, now it will be. That's going to come out. Oh my god. Another illusion sent in by Envy. Dealing good damage to the tower. He's going to get about half of it almost.
That was a pretty good game plan from Alliance, though. Try and bait out Loda, or make it look like you're baiting out Loda, like all the supports are down there, and then go somewhere else on the map with Chronosphere. So not a bad plan by them. The only problem is there was no escape venue for Viper.
And they only found the Centaur. It's again not Eternal Envy they're finding. He is nowhere to be seen. Currently 3-0-3 with 356 last hits as well, doing a great job on the Terrorblade. Feel like I've seen this before in this game. He's going to go on Roche, but this time not soloing it. Getting some very important help from Skywrath auto attacks, but yeah, they might as well. There's nothing else for Skywrath to do right now, so just finishing it faster. Envy will take the Aegis, and do you think that's the goal call, or do you finish the next item for Envy? He has 4k gold after this. Oh wow, refresher now.
I think they go with this. He can spend his gold. He can wait for buyback and POTs if he really wants to, or he can purchase like crit or something like that. But they can just push uphill. Him in melee form. If he dies, go range form. Wait for the Chronosphere. Try and counter initiate that. Hope that Envy lives. If he doesn't, you still proceed with range form and mass illusions. I think it's a very easy game plan for Cloud9 going forth. Just need to make sure to spread out. And aside from that, not too difficult if you see a good initiation with Fada, especially on the Faceless Void, then you go. So it's all on Admiral Bulldog. Can he find the opener, and can they follow up on his Chronosphere? He does have BKB now. Will offer him a little bit of safety.
What would you buy on Envy now?
I think crit. I mean, he can also go more survivability. But
I'm thinking a second Skadi, honestly.
Second Skadi?
Yeah, just a lot of stats, more armor, more health, and more damage against the towers.
Why not like Satanic?
That's an alternative, I guess. It depends how you want to play. The illusions get stronger with, like overall, the second Skadi, it's 25 agility. That's some armor, some attack speed, some damage. And
why not like AC too?
AC was my second choice. I think Satanic is not needed and might be overkill, but we're going to see what Envy chooses. He will, of course. He still has his bottle, by the way, in a 40-minute game. Very unusual to see that.
I think AC is a far safer build.
What's he buying? He is buying a heart. So another item that could have been considered. I think if you're going for the heart, you should have taken the Satanic. That, for me, if you want to go that route, then I would agree with a Satanic more than with a heart. But overall, the illusions get a little bit stronger from that than Satanic. Of course, there's more strength on it.
But the armor.
But the regen is useless, pretty much, right?
It's fairly useless. It gives him a lot more HP than Satanic, than Satanic. But Satanic gives you armor, and you're looking at a lot of magical damage from Alliance. So I think they're comparable in terms of effective HP for him against Alliance's damage. I don't know. Maybe I don't know why hard over Satanic. It's a minor difference.
Yeah.
But I mean,
he's taken the defensive route, which I think is the right one. I think the Daedalus, out of all the options we discussed, might have been a little bit too greedy, especially because it's not that valuable against buildings, which is essentially what he needs to bring down. They don't seem to be lacking damage in fights at all, so just getting himself more tanky. That's why I thought the Scotty as a hybrid item would be a nice choice, but maybe the just raw tank ability from Hart is a better choice in this situation. And I think either of those were good, Satanic would have worked as well. Now, he's spreading out his illusions nicely. Just look at that trifecta of Terrorblades mauling down that tower. No commitment from Alliance to defending it. Loda almost denied it. Very nice attempt here. But, well, what are you going to do? When the big blue boys come, it's the blue man group in mid lane. Looking to do some good damage on tier 3. There's the Chronosphere from Bulldog. There's no follow-up from 8mother. He can't get in. They're going to go on Bata, though. He will be brought. No, he got the cheese off. He had 1% health. Gets off the cheese, gets off the roar. He has another one in the bag. They're going to get Bulldog off this. Witch Doctor already dead. 8mother. Just look at Envy go to town, bringing down Loda as well. And if they don't have enough buybacks, they're going to lose all 3 lanes, or maybe it's just straight throw.
They didn't even
for Cloud9.
kill EE once. So it's just over.
GG.
The Bane of Terrorblade shows Alliance. Who's boss? C9 up 1-0 in this best of 3. Didn't really like the draft from Alliance too much. Alliance couldn't really deal with the Centaur too. I mean, it was just a lot of aspects of Cloud9 that Alliance was just very poorly equipped to deal with, and they really need to revisit their draft, make 8mother a lot more useless or useful, useful, and put him in a position to succeed.
If they make him more useless than this, I feel like they're just flat out rude. That's not fair to your stand-in too. Yeah, I think we've got to go back to the draft. They didn't have a clear-cut plan. We were talking aggressive trial lane. I still think it was a mistake not to counter out Envy. He was not played in the safe lane, but if Alliance tried to take at least an aggressive stance on the game, start aggressive trial and be like, oh, he's mid, maybe put another hero mid to try to help out 8mother, put a bit of pressure on Envy. Well,
they had an aggressive stance with the Legion Commander. There was just no synergy.
Yeah, well, as far as the laning stage went, they didn't even try for Envy.
Yeah.
They just let him farm in the mid lane. I mean, you could put the Witch Doctor there with LC. You can even put Witch Doctor Viper there to put pressure on Envy, and then put the LC safe lane.
They tried. They had that ward up there, but Misery got scouted out by the Observer ward, and then there's no arrow coming. And Witch Doctor was on the bottom lane. And
even if the arrow hits, they don't die.
Yeah, so maybe they move Ake up. At the same time, there was a trade-off of him getting the Scepter a little bit early, but it didn't seem it was worth it in the end. I don't think they found or tried at any point in that game. A couple heroes were gearing for the late with Faceless Void and Loda, and then you have 8mother, who's all about the early game with the Legion Commander, and nothing just came together for Alliance.
Yeah, and as far as KDA, Eternal Envy was part of 10 kills. Skywrath Mage of Pilot Eye ending the game with 8-1 and 11. He was all over the place, pretty much part of every single kill they made. I feel like the Terrorblade wasn't even necessarily the big problem. I feel like he was interchangeable. He could have had a Naga instead. Yeah. He could have had another farming carry, and it would have been the same game plan. It was the game plan that won the game, not that particular hero being insanely strong in late game. He could have even played a non-illusion based carry, just a good farmer, and I think they still would have won.
Yeah, and the sneaky Roshan too. That
was important. He couldn't do that with another kill.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's still Cloud9 just has better game plans overall, and Alliance, I don't know.
Do you feel like it was strictly strategic loss? Do you feel like they underperformed as well? I think they hit their abilities fairly well. Yeah. Their movement was okay, but I think they're just countered out.
Poor draft and just poor game plan in general. Like I think they possibly could have won with this, but the approach that they took to the game was just not worth it. Well, comparing these two carries, 6-0, Eternal Envy, this GPM, ridiculous as we all know. And are we cutting to a break? Back with the panel soon?
Yeah, yes, I think that is the call. We're going to be back with game number 2 soon, guys. Stay tuned. We're going to have a short commercial break, maybe a little bit of analysis of game 1, depending on how fast we get game 2 going. But yeah, we're going to be right back. Don't go anywhere.